My sister accused me of stealing her necklace, and my parents believed her. They even took me to court. What they didn't know was that my little brother had seen her throw it in the trash. When he told the judge what he saw, my sister and mom started panicking. Rachel was tearing apart my apartment when I got home from work. I opened the door to find her in my bedroom. Drawers pulled out, clothes scattered on the floor. My jewelry box open on the bed, contents dumped everywhere. "What are you doing?" She spun around. Her face was red. Mascara smeared. "Where is it?" "Where's what?" "My necklace. Grandma's necklace. I know you took it." I set my bag down carefully. "I didn't take your necklace." "Liar." She threw a handful of my earrings across the room. They clattered against the wall. "You've always been jealous. Always hated that Grandma gave it to me instead of you." "Rachel, I don't have your necklace. I haven't even been to your apartment in 2 weeks. You were there 3 weeks ago. That's when it disappeared." My stomach tightened. "I came over to drop off your mail. I was there for 5 minutes, long enough to steal from me." The front door opened. Mom and Dad walked in. Rachel must have called them before she broke into my place. "Did you find it?" Mom asked, looking past me like I wasn't even there. Rachel shook her head, tears running down her face now. Real or fake, I couldn't tell anymore. She must have sold it already, or hid it somewhere else. Mom looked at me. Her expression was cold, disgusted, like I was something she'd stepped in. "How could you do this to your own sister?" "I didn't do anything." Dad started searching my closet, checking pockets, pulling out shoe boxes, his hands moving mechanically through my things. "Dad, stop. I didn't take anything." He ignored me, kept searching. Mom joined him, going through my nightstand, my dresser, my bathroom cabinets. They went through everything, every drawer, every box, every corner of my apartment, like I was a criminal, like I was guilty before proven innocent. They didn't find the necklace because I didn't have it. When they finished, Mom stood in my living room with her arms crossed. The afternoon light coming through the window made her face look hard, angular. "You probably already pawned it." "I didn't touch her necklace." Rachel collapsed onto my couch, sobbing into her hands. "That necklace was worth $8,000. It was all I had left of Grandma." "We're filing a police report," Dad said. His voice was flat, final. "And we're taking you to court." I stood there, speechless. "You're suing me? You stole from your sister. There will be consequences." They left. All 3 of them, Rachel still crying, Mom with her arm around her, Dad walking ahead, not looking back. Nobody believed me. Nobody even considered I might be telling the truth. I sat on my couch, surrounded by the mess they'd made, and felt something break inside me. Not sadness. Something colder. Something that settled in my chest like ice. But I didn't cry, didn't call anyone, just started cleaning up. The truth would come out eventually. The days after were strange. Rachel posted on social media about the stolen necklace, photos of her wearing it, captions about family betrayal and how blood couldn't be trusted. My phone filled with messages from relatives I hadn't spoken to in years, most of them angry. Some pretending to be concerned, but really just fishing for gossip. "Aunt Linda, I always knew there was something off about you. Cousin Marcus, you should be ashamed. Uncle Robert, your grandmother would be disgusted." I blocked them all. Mom called twice. I didn't answer. The voicemails were the same. "How could you?" And, "We raised you better than this." Her voice breaking on the second one, like I was the one who'd hurt her. Dad didn't call at all. At work, I kept my head down, made coffee, answered emails, smiled when people asked how I was doing. Nobody knew. I didn't tell them. What would I say? My family thinks I'm a thief. I went home every night to my empty apartment and ate dinner alone, watched the ceiling, thought about Grandma. She died 2 years ago, lung cancer. I was there at the end, holding her hand. Rachel was at a spa weekend in Scottsdale, couldn't be bothered to fly back. But Grandma left her the necklace anyway. I never cared about that. I had Grandma's recipe box, her handwritten notes in the margins. That meant more to me than any piece of jewelry. But Rachel was right about one thing. The family expected me to get the necklace. I was the oldest. I was the one who visited every Sunday, who brought groceries, who drove her to doctor's appointments. When the will was read and Rachel got it, everyone was surprised. Even Rachel, Mom said. Grandma must have wanted to be fair, to give Rachel something since I'd gotten so much time with her. I didn't argue, didn't care, but now Rachel was using it against me. Tommy texted me once during those 3 weeks. "Are you okay?" I wrote back, "Yeah, don't worry about it." He was 13, still had to live with them. I didn't want to drag him into this mess, but I should have known he was already in it. Tommy saw everything in that house. He was quiet, observant, the kind of kid who did his homework at the kitchen table and heard every conversation happening around him. I just didn't know he'd seen this. The court summons arrived on a Thursday. Small claims court. Rachel Martinez versus Emma Martinez, seeking $8,000 in damages plus court costs. I held the paper in my hands and felt nothing, just cold numbness. I called a legal aid office. They assigned me a lawyer, young guy named Marcus Chen, fresh out of law school. He seemed nice but tired. Probably handling 50 cases at once. Do you have any evidence you didn't take it? He asked over the phone. No, because I didn't take it. How do you prove you didn't do something? He sighed. That's the problem. She has to prove you did. But judges, they tend to side with whoever seems more believable. And family cases are messy. She's a better liar than I am a truth teller. Then we'll hope the judge sees through it. But Emma, I need to be honest with you. Without evidence, this could go either way. Even if you win, your family, my family already thinks I'm guilty. Silence on the line. Yeah, he said quietly. I'm sorry. Hope, that was all I had. The night before court, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about walking into that courtroom, seeing Mom and Dad and Rachel, having to defend myself against lies. Part of me wanted to just not show up, let them win, let them have their story, but that felt like admitting guilt, so I got up, made coffee, ironed my clothes for court, a simple black dress, nothing flashy, nothing that would make me look guilty or defensive. I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back. The courtroom was smaller than I expected, wood paneling on the walls, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, the smell of old carpet and industrial cleaner, folding chairs in the gallery, a clerk shuffling papers at a desk, everything painted in shades of beige and institutional gray. My court-appointed lawyer sat next to me, flipping through documents with a bored expression. He'd probably seen 50 cases like this. To him, it was just another Tuesday. To me, it was my family deciding I was a thief. Across the aisle, Rachel sat with Mom and Dad. Rachel wore a black dress, pearls at her throat, not Grandma's necklace, obviously. Hair pulled back in a neat bun. Perfect victim costume. Mom had her arm around her, rubbing her shoulder. Dad stared straight ahead, jaw set, hands folded on the table. They didn't look at me once. Not when I walked in, not when I sat down, not when the judge entered. It was like I didn't exist, like I'd already been erased. The judge entered. Older woman. Gray hair pulled into a crest, tight bun, reading glasses hanging on a chain. She sat down, adjusted her glasses, and read from the file. Martinez versus Martinez. Miss Rachel Martinez accusing Miss Emma Martinez of theft. Value of stolen property, $8,000. She looked up. How do you plead, Miss Emma Martinez? I stood. My throat felt tight. My hands were cold. Not guilty, Your Honor. Rachel dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. Mom squeezed her shoulder. The performance had begun. The judge called Rachel to the stand first. She walked up slowly, wiping her eyes. Every movement calculated for maximum sympathy. She placed her hand on the Bible, swore to tell the truth, and sat down. Tell me what happened, the judge said. My grandmother passed away 2 years ago. Rachel's voice cracked perfectly. She left me a diamond necklace. It was appraised at $8,000. I kept it in my jewelry box in my bedroom. It was the only thing I had left of her. That was a lie. She also got Grandma's china set and her wedding ring, but no one corrected her. And when did you discover it was missing? 3 weeks ago. I came home from work and went to put on jewelry for a date that night. The necklace was gone. I searched everywhere. I thought maybe I'd misplaced it, but it was just gone. Who had access to your apartment? Just me and my sister Emma. She has a key. She was there that day to drop off mail. She's the only one who could have taken it. Did you see her take the necklace? No, but she was the only person there. When I got home, it was gone, and she's always resented me. Rachel looked at the judge with wet eyes. Grandma was supposed to give her the necklace. Everyone thought she would. Emma was older. She spent more time with Grandma, but Grandma gave it to me instead, and Emma never forgave me for that. She'd make comments about it, little jabs. I knew she was angry. I wanted to scream. Every word was a lie wrapped in a half-truth, but I sat there, hands folded, face neutral. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client categorically denies these allegations. There's no evidence she took the necklace. No witnesses. No surveillance footage. No pawnshop records. This is purely speculation based on family drama. The judge nodded. The burden of proof is on the plaintiff, Miss Martinez. Do you have any evidence beyond your belief that your sister took it? Rachel's lawyer stood, a woman in a sharp suit, expensive haircut. Your Honor, we have testimony from family members regarding a pattern of jealous behavior. That's not evidence of theft. We also have character witnesses who can speak to the defendant's financial struggles and potential motive. Still not evidence. Rachel's lawyer sat down, looking frustrated. The judge looked at Rachel. Do you have any physical evidence? Photos of the necklace in your jewelry box before it disappeared? Security camera footage? Anything concrete? Rachel shook her head. No, Your Honor, I just know she took it. I know my sister. Knowing someone and proving theft are two different things. Rachel started crying harder. Mom stood up slightly, like she wanted to go comfort her, but the bailiff gestured for her to sit back down. The judge looked tired. Miss Martinez, I understand you're upset about losing a valuable family heirloom, but without evidence, I can't rule. The door at the back of the courtroom opened. Everyone turned. Tommy walked in, 13 years old, still in his school uniform, navy blue polo, khaki pants, backpack slung over one shoulder. His face was pale but determined. His sneakers squeaked on the linoleum as he walked down the aisle. Can I help you? The judge asked, looking confused. Tommy walked forward. past the gallery, past the wooden barrier separating spectators from the court. I need to say something about the necklace. Rachel's face went white. All the color drained out in an instant. Mom stood halfway up, reaching for him. Tommy, sit down. Young man, the judge said, this is a closed proceeding. I saw what happened to the necklace. Tommy's voice was louder now, clear, cutting through the room. I saw Rachel throw it in the trash. The courtroom went completely silent. You could hear the buzzing of the lights, the hum of the air conditioning, someone's watch ticking. The clerk stopped typing. The judge leaned forward. You saw what? Tommy's hands were shaking, but his voice stayed steady. I was at Rachel's apartment 3 weeks ago. I went to get a snack from her kitchen. I saw her take the necklace out of her jewelry box and throw it in the kitchen trash can. Then she tied up the bag and took it outside to the dumpster. That's a lie. Rachel's voice cracked. She was standing now. He's lying to protect her. Why would she throw away an $8,000 necklace? The judge asked sharply. Tommy looked at Rachel, then at me, then back at the judge. Because she wanted to frame Emma. I heard her on the phone with Mom that morning. She said she was tired of Emma being Dad's favorite. She said Emma always got away with everything, and she was going to make her pay. Then a few hours later, I saw her throw the necklace away. Mom's face went from red to white. She grabbed Rachel's arm, nails digging in. Tommy, stop talking. The judge held up her hand. Mrs. Martinez, sit down. Now. Mom sat. The judge looked at Tommy. Son, do you understand what you're saying? Do you understand that lying in court is a crime? You could face serious consequences. Yes, Your Honor. I'm not lying. Are you willing to testify under oath? Tommy nodded. Yes. Then please approach the witness stand. Tommy walked forward. The bailiff swore him in. His hand looked small on the Bible. His voice was clear. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. He sat down. Rachel was gripping the edge of the table, knuckles white, her perfect composure cracking down the middle. Mom was whispering frantically to their lawyer, who looked like she wanted to be anywhere else. Dad just sat there, staring at Rachel like he'd never seen her before. The judge leaned forward. Tell me exactly what you saw. Tommy took a breath. I was at Rachel's apartment 3 weeks ago on a Wednesday. I went after school because Mom was picking me up from there. Rachel was in her bedroom. I went to the kitchen to get a granola bar. That's when I saw her come out with the necklace. She looked at it for a second. Then she threw it in the trash can, the one under the sink. Did she say anything? No, she didn't know I was there. She tied up the trash bag and took it outside. Then she came back in and called Mom. That's when I heard her say the stuff about Emma. What exactly did she say? She said, I'm done with Emma, acting like she's better than everyone. Dad always takes her side. I'm going to make her pay for once. Then she said something about how this would finally make everyone see what Emma was really like. The judge wrote something down. Did you tell anyone what you saw? I told Emma last week. She told me not to say anything until today. She said everyone needed to hear the truth at the same time, in court, so no one could twist it. The judge looked at Rachel. Her expression was ice. Miss Rachel Martinez, do you want to revise your statement? Rachel's mouth opened, closed. Her eyes were wild. Desperate. He's confused. He doesn't understand what he saw. He seems pretty clear to me. He's just a kid, old enough to know what he saw. Your Honor, my lawyer stood quickly. I move to dismiss this case immediately and request sanctions for filing a knowingly false claim. My client has been publicly accused, humiliated, and dragged through court based on a complete fabrication. The judge nodded slowly. Case dismissed. Miss Rachel Martinez, you have wasted this court's time and made serious false accusations against your sister. I'm ordering you to pay all court costs and Miss Emma Martinez's legal fees. I'm also referring this matter to the district attorney's office for possible criminal charges of filing a false report and perjury. Rachel stood up. No, wait, please. It's not. We're done here. Bailiff, clear the court. The gavel came down. The sound echoed. Final. Mom grabbed Rachel's arm. Both of them crying now, whispering frantically. Rachel's lawyer was packing up quickly, already distancing herself from the disaster, probably worried about her own reputation. Dad sat frozen, staring at nothing, his hands flat on the table. I stood up, picked up my bag. My lawyer nodded at me. I'll send you the paperwork for the fees. Thank you. Tommy came down from the witness stand. He looked at me, small, brave, scared, but standing tall. I nodded once. Thank you. She's always been mean to you, he said quietly. Someone had to tell the truth. I walked past Rachel and Mom, past Dad, who still wouldn't look at me, who was staring at the table like if he looked hard enough, he could disappear, out into the bright courthouse hallway. Tommy followed. The sunlight coming through the windows was almost blinding after the fluorescent gloom of the courtroom. Want to get ice cream? I asked. He smiled for the first time all day. Yeah, we walked out of the courthouse together, into the sunshine, down the steps, and I didn't look back.